Come on, string up the lights and light up the tree. There's going to be some revelry because it's Christmas time in hell.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AfterBuzz TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
Christmas time in hell. There goes Jeffrey Dahmer with a festive Christmas ham. After he has sex with it, he'll eat up all he can.
See, I insisted that we listen to that part because for some reason that's my favorite part of this song because I think that Jeffrey Dahmer's really funny. Watch the Jeremy Renner movie with Jeffrey Dahmer and you will change your opinion.
Is this your annual Christmas song?
Oh yeah, like I listen to the South Park Christmas songs and watch all the South Park Christmases. That's how I prepare. A Woodland Critter Christmas is my favorite Christmas special of all time. Yeah, and you know what? Before we get to yours, I'll introduce myself. I am Lacretia Lyon, guys. You can always find me at LACRETIALYON anywhere on the internet since there is only one. But I am not here alone. I have my lovely co-host to my left.
And my name is Roger, and you can find me on Twitter, Roger_Corral, and on Instagram under Beef Supreme.
I like that.
Yeah.
Beef Supreme. Because I was wondering your Instagram, because I was trying to tag you the other day, but I'm like, yeah, I wasn't looking up Beef Supreme.
I like Taco Bell.
All right. Nothing wrong with that.
No.
Yeah, but speaking of, festive things, what is your favorite Christmas special?
Christmas special? I don't... It's funny. I mean, we're in a horror show. I should have more horror-related things. I love Jingle All the Way. It's not a Christmas special.
But it's a movie. I like it.
That's my annual tradition.
See, we do Home Alone, Die Hard.
Die Hard's
And then we jokingly will watch Reindeer Games.
That works.
Yeah.
I like that.
I think I like my Christmas movies with Ben Affleck.
With a lot of action.
Because, what is it, Surviving Christmas with him and James Gandolfini? That's great.
Wow.
Yeah. Well, and, our horror TV has gotten to the spirit as well. It's Happy Horror Days from the Williams family. I love this little Christmas card that Ash made with his newfound daughter that's, I'm still mad isn't Kelly, but whatever. We at least get new episodes 2 months from Christmas, February 25th.
It's been a while, right?
Yeah.
Like more than a year.
Yeah, that's the thing is it usually starts in October, to coincide with Halloween, but they've decided for a February release date, I guess, this year. It's kind of odd, but...
So what do you think of the poster?
I love this. I'm like, it's so Ash. Like,
It's
just
very
Ash.
Beer. I will say, I don't know if I like this direction. So I don't know personally. I feel like they shouldn't have ended the cabin story so soon.
Yeah, I thought it was kind of odd how they quickly wrapped that up, and I really liked when they went back in time.
I thought that was cool.
Yeah, that was great when they finally got their, rights to Army of Darkness, and they were able to put that into continuity. This to save Pablo, that was great. Yeah.
I'm thrown off as far, maybe I wasn't paying attention. When they go back in time, does that create another one of them? It does, right?
It can't, and that's the thing, is in the continuity, it's like, I try to use Flash science, even though I realize this is Ash science, so I'm like, wait, because, yeah, it can, in Flash science. I don't know, Ash science may be a little different.
Well, what was Lucy Lawless' character? We saw
Ruby,
two of hers. Yeah. Ruby, that's right. So, in the last Evil Dead movie, when Ash goes back to 3500 AD, I forgot what it is, we don't see an old Ash at the same time, do we?
No, because, the deal with Ruby is she has been around for a long time, and so therefore she looked the same back then, is why, there was another version of her when she went back in time, and that was her at that time.
I'm just thrown off why there's two. Maybe I'm not getting this.
Yeah, so, when they went back in time, as there was two Ashes, just because they're going back, there would be two Rubies as well, because they would have been alive, but...
Okay.
Yeah. But only in, that, where they've gone back.
Well,
as I say.
Right. Regardless of that.
I need Dr. Oh, damn it, he's dead. Sorry, I was
Everyone's dead.
I was like, no, Firestorm to help us with this.
So as we're seeing in the poster, they're going to bring a new character to the forefront. Yeah. And that's supposed to be his daughter, correct?
Yes, yeah. Well, all of last season was set up for Kelly to be Ash's daughter when, but with the issues with the showrunner leaving and things like that, they decided to keep the continuity and give Ash a daughter that he's made by going back in time and screwing it up. but it's not Kelly, which they're just adding a new character that kind of. I'm just not sure if she's going to fit in with the team. But being Ash's kid, it will be fun. Yeah.
That's true. There's a lot of pressure in that sense. I mean, honestly, you're trying to put her in this role where we already love Kelly. We love Pablo. We love all these characters. It's a lot of pressure on this new character to come in, and I'm sure she'll get a lot of screen time. I'm sure she'll have a lot of interactions with Ash. I don't know if everyone will buy it.
Yeah, because I was always hoping that Michelle Hurd's Linda, her daughter, could have been Ash's. Like Pepe, she was great. She came into our after show here.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we kind of hoped she would live longer, but yeah, like that would have been interesting to make her his daughter or Kelly. So it is kind of odd that they had a lot of characters to choose from that they've decided. But you know what? Maybe she's got great chemistry with the cast.
That's true.
Yeah,
and that doesn't change the fact that Kelly might still be the person to take over from here, right?
Exactly. She's still Ash Light.
Yeah, she's Ash Light. I like it. I like the poster, and I think I definitely like the direction. Again, so I don't remember the Evil Dead movies a lot from when I was little. So, seeing the new episodes, I don't know if they were always meant to be kind of funny.
Oh, yeah. Well, so the first Evil Dead was actually a student film at their, University of Michigan where they all went, and it was their student film, which is why, there's some odd, things there, but that's the thing, is it's so good considering it was just Sam Raimi's student film.
Yeah.
But then with Evil Dead 2, it's sort of they kept that same story and then added the humor to it, and that's really where Evil Dead sort of set itself apart with
that
everything
direction. Okay.
else. So yeah, in Evil Dead 2, when it's just basically a retelling with more humor added to it. And then because Bruce Campbell's such a good comedic actor, very
that's great timing.
And that's the thing is, the Raimis as well as Bruce were big Three Stooges fans, so they added a lot of that. And especially with Army of Darkness, it's just goofy as hell. It goes back into medieval times.
Yeah, and that's where we go in this show. Hopefully it turns out well. Again, I think that's a big revelation. I didn't know if this was. I'm not sure if you knew that this was going to be. Was this considered a big reveal? That the daughter was coming on board for this season? This
was revealed at New York Comic Con and had been discussed for a while. So
So we were just waiting for the casting then, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, this was something that they sort of had even teased before the end of last season that they were still going to give Ash a kid, just it wouldn't be Kelly.
Yeah, man. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if I'm feeling it, but
we'll see. As I say, I'm glad to have the show back in any capacity, and we'll see how this works. But speaking of shows coming back, Syfy has renewed Z Nation for a 5th season, which breaks the Syfy curse. I know, we talked about it last week, how Syfy never renews anything past season 4, and they finally have.
And I mean, zombies have a lot of life going for them, right?
Yeah, and I don't actually watch Z Nation, but everybody I know that does loves it. So yeah, it must be good.
It has to be good. I mean, they're going coast to coast from New York to LA. There's a lot of material there. I don't know how these shows are still going.
And it's all shot in Seattle. Yeah.
I was telling you,
just funny.
The Disney Channel is having a mini series or a movie with zombie characters now, which I think is fascinating.
Yeah.
I think zombies have.
I would have thought that zeitgeist was over, but yeah.
It's happening. So that's impressive. Good for them.
Yeah, because it's zombies. We did our our Walking Dead last week. We had Evil Dead, now Z Nation. Now you say Disney's coming up with their own zombies. They were all zombies.
Yeah, it works. And we just had The Walking Dead last Sunday. It happens.
Well, and speaking of things happening, as I do every year, the annual Syfy Marathon of Twilight Zone is still on for New Year's Eve and day. And, they've actually released the episode list. So you're able to, record them as you are, and if you don't have the whole collection.
I like that.
Yeah, that's cool, yeah.
So it goes back to the conversation we had last show about TV slowly dying. So all of the Twilight series is on Netflix. I was actually watching it last week, and it's all there. I'm still excited for the marathon, but I'm slowly starting to wonder when these things are going to start to fade out.
Yeah, because as I say, I mean, cable in general is fading away. But I will say Syfy is one of those things that has rebranded itself and is now on the forefront. So I feel like we've got a while before they go out. But
and the marathon starts at 4 a.m.
Yeah.
That's intense. Twilight Zone at 4 a.m. That's a lot happening.
I do that. Mm-hmm.
I saw the first episode, The Howling Man. Yeah. Do you remember that episode?
You know, the Howling Man. I'm trying to think about, like, because judging by it, I'm like, this is like a Boy Who Cried Wolf situation, right?
They went full biblical.
Yeah.
So it was a man who was howling in someone's, they trapped this man in a cage, and, you know, the person that shows up to the house is like, why do you have this man trapped in your cage? And he's like, oh, that's the devil, my son. And so he's like, whatever you do, don't release him. And of course, he's like, that's not the devil. So he opens the door, and the devil unleashes on everyone. And then we see a flash forward a few years later, and that man was able to trap the Howling Man again, and he told his housekeeper, hey, don't release this man from his room because he's the devil. And of course, we always release the devil.
Well, and too, though, I mean, now we live in a time where on TV the devil works with the police or works with Sam and Dean on Supernatural. Like,
I will say,
I
think we talked about the remake for Twilight. I feel like it's time. Like, seeing episodes like this, you're right. Like, an episode like that.
And be clear, it's Twilight Zone.
The Twilight Zone, not the Twilight
with
movies.
the Twilight sparkling vampire movies, which I prefer didn't exist.
They're fun. You should check them out.
Sorry, I like my vampires sexier. You know?
And then they're actually they opened up a Twilight Zone play in London this week, which I thought was kind of fascinating. And again, where they're gonna do the whole remake on CBS. I think it's time. I think looking back at these episodes, it still makes you think, and that was the whole point of Twilight. You know, the episode wasn't so much on the devil, but the fact that man's weakness is always not seeing evil in front of him. So there's still a lot of depth to these episodes, but I feel like looking back at these, and I think when people check them out, you said this is on New Year's, right? When they do the marathon?
Every year on New Year's
Day
they do
when
it,
people check it out, I feel like you'll start to realize how much we need an update on this. Yeah,
and two, it's great that the one for CBS All Access will be Jordan Peele, and Get Out is actually very similar to me as a Twilight Zone episode would have been. It's just, and that's why that's perfect. And Sylvia B brings up in the chat, I think The Outer Limits is getting rebooted, and it's like, I haven't heard anything specific about The Outer Limits, but that would be cool to have both of them. Yeah.
Like I said, this show is turning into like a reboot discussion.
Yeah. It's like, well, because that's pretty well a lot of horror TV.
Everything's coming back. And I actually, I know I brought it up earlier. I want to check out the play that happened in London. I don't know.
Yeah, that's interesting.
I want to know where they take these type of shows.
These Twilight Zone plays, yeah. Well, because here in LA, you can see a lot of I'll go to the Rockwell, their unauthorized musicals and things. I'm like, well, maybe we'll just do our own damn Twilight Zone musical. I know a guy who can get us in there.
You said you went to a. Sorry, I'm bringing it up. You went to a Twin Peaks pop-up.
Yeah, here in LA till January 3rd, I believe. There's a Twin Peaks Roadhouse pop-up at the Melrose Umbrella Company. It's pretty cool. You just have to put down $25, which you can use there.
Okay.
You make a reservation and get in. It's and it's done, kind of like the Red Room. You walk in, and then it's like the Roadhouse. Yeah.
Is it just the get-up, or do people participate? Like, does it feel like you're actually there?
Oh, no. I mean, it's not that in-depth.
Okay.
But it's more of like a fun, cheeky, like if you're a fan, you're going to love it because they have the drinks, all like weird little drinks just designed as things like the show, like a fish in a percolator. And I have the Dr. Jacoby or whatever.
You have the Jacoby? Wait,
Dr. Jacoby is one of the characters.
Yeah, he's the Hawaiian guy.
Yeah, and so it was like a pina colada or whatever.
Oh, okay, that's right.
So it was funny, yeah.
I like that. But I'm excited for the Twilight Zone.
Yeah.
I'm hoping they do the Twilight movies again, but that's another conversation.
Yeah, a different one. Sorry, I like my True Blood vampires.
I know. Oh man, that's another show I haven't heard in a while. But Twilight Zone. I like I said, I saw a few episodes last week. And they still hit the spot. They definitely still make you think. I'm really excited for the update. I think I'm ready for the update.
Yeah, and Sue, we're getting a ton of stuff on streaming services. As we say, the Twilight Zone remake will be on CBS All Access. Now Netflix is taking Sean Bean's cult hit from the UK, The Frankenstein Chronicles, and we even have the trailer. So this was something I wasn't even familiar with existing.
No, I didn't know about this.
This sounds so cool because it says The Frankenstein Chronicles is a reimagining of Mary Shelley's classic novel, which is actually one of my favorite books of all time. and so it's set in 1830s London.
Typical
and
Sean Bean.
Yeah, Sean Bean, of course, like plays John Marlott, a war veteran and river policeman. And so yeah, it's already had like a season 1 in the UK, but we're getting it now in the US on Netflix, which is pretty cool because it's like 6 episode seasons. Apparently there's, they've already shot both of them. So I think by the time it gets to Netflix, there'll be 12 episodes.
Wait, so is this coming in 2018?
Yes.
It is, right? Wow.
Well, cool. So let's see the trailer because this sounds interesting.
This thing is a composite. Parts of at least 7 children reassembled. The subjects never move.
The energy persisting beyond death.
No, Mr. Marlott, they're dead.
His reforms might well.
I am so down for this.
Yeah, I know. I'm like, this show, how did I not know this exists?
Like, I don't know if you guys checked out Penny Dreadful.
It feels Penny Dreadful.
Right?
I've yet to watch that, but that's actually a vampire show I'd be down with. They don't sparkle on that, do they?
Oh my god.
Yeah.
They sparkle because of the sun.
It's dumb. Admit it. Just like the ending of Lost.
Oh my god.
I saw the whole first season of Penny Dreadful. It was alright, but it kind of lost me towards the end.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I didn't finish the next 2 seasons.
Yeah, Penny Dreadful had great characters, but I couldn't keep up with it. I didn't like the writing too much.
Yeah, me either. So this looks cool. I want to check this out.
Yeah,
I
I was
love
like,
Sean
this
Bean.
actually looks like a great show. And since he's the lead, he'll at least live till the last episode.
Okay, no. That's how they sold us Game of Thrones, and
Oh,
that
yeah.
did not happen.
That's true.
Where is she? What next for your accursed masterpiece, I wonder?
I told you I never wanted to see you again.
I believe you are in peril.
Peril.
To your soul.
I'll reveal what you did there.
What we did. Where's the girl? My little girl lost has been found.
You think that he created that thing?
Oh, that's I'm losing my mind. The dead live, Mrs. Shelley. This nightmare is your creation.
This is great. Feels very Van Helsing as well.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, ooh, that's very cool. It's sort of like a Frankenstein version of Van Helsing
Yeah,
is what it
yeah.
seems like, which is great.
And I think he fits perfect with those roles.
Yeah.
Again, he tends to die in all of these roles.
Yes.
Like, he died on me on Lord of the Rings. He died in Patriot Games. Like, I'm tired of...
He's just known for dying.
So that's the only thing that kind of scares me. Because I don't know if you've ever seen Game of Thrones, but...
Yeah, that's one show. I've seen episodes, but I'm not really caught up. But feel free to spoil. Like I already know what happened.
They really did sell it on him. He's the whole first season. And then they just dash all of our dreams. So I'm not going to get too confident on this. Like, I really don't trust Sean Bean to stay alive.
You're like, I trust him to be really cool, but then I just know that he's going to die.
Yeah, I do. But the trailer's great. And wait, so you said this is a remake from the UK, right?
Well, it's actually just, it's been airing in the UK. They're going to bring it over just to stream on Netflix. So yeah.
This has been airing? Like the actual Sean Bean?
Yeah, the whole show, as I say, they've already done 2 6-episode seasons over there. And yeah.
That's awesome.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know. I was like, I did not know this show existed until it popped up.
And Netflix is stepping it up. I feel like they keep adding shows like this. Black Mirror is coming back in a week or 2. Yeah.
Yeah, December 29th is when Black Mirror.
Yeah, just in time for the New Year's
Yeah.
to scare everyone a bit.
Well, speaking of scaring everyone, Rob Lowe is getting into that game, and he's going to direct the Bad Seed remake for Lifetime.
Oh, God. Another remake.
This was a funny story. I'm like, I have to put this just because I love Rob Lowe. I love The Grinder, which was one of like the most underrated shows of last year that you people didn't watch, and that's why it got canceled.
I know. 1 season, right?
Yeah. But Rob Lowe is hilarious, so I'm curious to see if this will be a fun, because I feel like The Bad Seed is a very goofy, old movie. And being Lifetime, that it has to be super campy, like that Will Ferrell, Kristen Wiig venture. I watched that. I would say I was a little high, but I thought it was a great movie.
That's the only way to watch that movie.
I know. I was like, this is a fun movie. I'm like, they are playing this so straight, and that's what I want. And Rob Lowe better be in it too. Like,
if anything, I like the addition of someone like Rob Lowe. I'm not sure if he's considered A-list. But
I would consider those looks A-list.
all right, you're
yeah.
right. I'm not gonna dispute that. But
I think he's a vampire. Like,
he definitely looks the same. Yeah,
Yeah.
he looks great.
We should see if he sparkles in the sun.
You know what? We're gonna have to come back to this. All right. But Rob Lowe, I feel like having someone like him on board with something like this, I discussed it a few weeks ago on the show. I feel like horror shows and horror TV shows tend to not get big names attached to them. And, outside of like The Conjuring, who has Patrick Wilson and Vera Farmiga and, these big names.
Yeah, Miranda Otto was in the Annabelle
Yeah,
franchise.
Annabelle, exactly. But outside of those, you don't tend to get big names attached. And so seeing Rob Lowe to something like this gives me hope that I've always wanted big celebrities to just jump on board.
Well, that's the thing, is a lot of celebrities are big horror fans.
They
So
are.
it's great to see them start investing, because I do know a little bit that James Gunn is working with Michael Rosenbaum, and that,
what is
that
this
they're
for?
trying to be getting some more horror films out
Okay.
there. So, like, it'd be more in the film line, but I do know that some people are trying to invest now.
I'll take anything Michael
I know.
Rosenbaum. Like
Oh, yeah.
that's my guy. But yeah, seeing Rob Lowe and something like that, I think it gives me a lot of hope. And I'm hoping more, I feel like we had Jack Nicholson in The Shining. We used to have big actors.
Well, yeah, because, and two, that's where a lot of big actors got their
start.
Kevin
Exactly.
Bacon, Johnny Depp. I mean,
And I feel like once they break out, they don't come back to this. So we did get a Sweeney Todd. So yeah, there is that. But
well, he'll do. Johnny Depp will do anything.
He'll do
Tim
that.
Burton's directing it. Like, so he technically stuck with horror just with that one guy.
He's like, I guess I'm doing another
Because
one of
that
these.
Dark Shadows would be considered a horror movie in a way.
I don't even know how Helena Bonham Carter looks outside of those movies anymore. I feel like she always has a shadow on her.
I just always see her as Marla.
Yeah, she's Marla. That's who she
Club
is.
is one of my favorite movies and books. So, like,
But yeah, someone like Rob Lowe, I feel like hopefully this is though. I don't think he plays anything creepy, right? He just plays a father.
Yeah.
Yeah.
which I feel like will be. I hope it's very Santa Clarita Diet Dad, like Timothy Olyphant's performance, because that's honestly what makes it, is these really hot nor like badass actors playing dorky dads.
Yeah.
Makes it funny.
Yeah. I don't doubt Rob Lowe could do that. He kind of played that role in Parks.
Yes.
Parks and Rec. And
Chris Traeger.
Yeah, like the really giddy office guy. So I don't doubt he could definitely step up to that role. Though I'm hoping there maybe is a twist. I want bigger names to do creepier things.
Yeah. Bigger names to do creepier things.
Yeah,
That's
that's my motto.
tagline, yeah. Speaking of creepy things, Wolf Creek Season 2 drops on Australia's streaming service Stan. I'm like, Stan is the name of their service.
I know.
That was the part of this, and I'm like, what?
That's a very fandom type of name. I had never heard of this. Have you heard of Stan?
No, apparently this is only in Australia. Wolf Creek will probably be on Shudder soon in America, because that's who had released it in America. It's an Australian horror show, which I've yet to watch, but I know that, Anthony, are you familiar with Wolf Creek, right?
With the film, yeah.
Yeah.
I believe there was Wolf Creek and then Wolf Creek 2 with like a crazy Aussie just going around killing people.
And I think that the show is just based on that, because I know that Shudder had the first season of Wolf Creek, and then like this will be the second one that's now only on the Australian streaming service.
So are we not getting it back anymore?
As I said, this is only on Australia for now, but it's very likely that Shudder will pick it up, because I mean it just dropped. And
yeah.
As with this UK show with Sean Bean, it's like they're coming out and America's no longer on the forefront.
No, they're not. It kind of disappoints me.
Yeah.
Like Hollywood is just stepping aside.
Yeah, and these streaming services are pulling these shows from, because used to we would get a lot from the BBC with BBC America, and PBS always had a deal with BBC America, so that's where you get, like, that's how I watched Whose Line Is It Anyway for like years when it was only the BBC one. It's like PBS. But yeah, and so we always had this good deal in a way with them, but now other countries are taking up and they're having to rely on our streaming services.
I know. I downloaded an app where, well, I probably shouldn't say this, but I downloaded an app where you could see, Netflix International. Because again, there's so many international shows that are just way ahead of the curve at this point.
Yeah.
I think that's kind of disappointing. So.
It is sad that America is not even on the forefront of horror anymore. God. And ZSB Lou in the chat is asking us, any word on the Peppermint and Carnival Row casting updates? You know, I actually did see some stuff on that, but those weren't things I was necessarily familiar with. So let me just go ahead and look those up for you, because I actually remember where they are. Yeah, because now I remember actor and musician Tyson Ritter, who I was like, that name sounds familiar. He is from All American Rejects. He will play Sam, a homeless man who joins Jennifer Garner's character Riley. This is like a drug dealer type show. That's why I didn't include it necessarily, because it wasn't like horror, but it was on Bloody Disgusting. So I'm like, oh well, since you're asking, I'll be happy to give you a little bit of update on Peppermint, because I saw it. But
wait, so Jennifer Aniston is attached to
Jennifer
this?
Garner.
Oh, Jennifer Garner. I'm sorry, I heard Jennifer and I went straight to Aniston.
The good one.
The good one. Well, okay. That's interesting.
Yeah, I'm like, that is interesting, because I noticed that was in like horror, but I'm like, I try to stay away from the stuff that's not necessarily like bloody and disgusting. Yeah,
it's difficult, unless you have like an Ash versus Evil type of scenario where there's guaranteed blood everywhere. I'm not sure what falls under.
And that's important. Like, that's the thing is, like, I go through a rigorous screening process when I go through news. And I know that X-Files doesn't always necessarily fall into horror
but you're
either,
just throwing that in there.
Fuck it. You know what? This is my show. We're going to talk about X-Files. You know what? Lucifer, all that falls under this, and because it's scary. Anything with Satan, I'm down with. But like,
I'm not sure if I could quote you on that.
Yeah, I'm down with Satan. Like, drop that.
No, but that's true. I feel like there's always been a merger with, sci-fi and horror. I'm not sure at what point.
Yeah, and that's the thing is, like, X-Files would have a lot of, like, horror-themed episodes, because last season, Glenn Morgan's episode would have been considered a horror, and that's why I will say, like, it'll be same thing with Twilight Zone. There was a little bit of sci-fi, but even on Syfy Network, now they have more horror shows, as we're talking about. So those kind of ride the line, but yeah.
Yeah, at this point, I don't even know. Again, I don't know. Channels don't know what direction they want to go. Sharknado's not really... Sharknado's scary.
I'm like, it's sci-fi, but I mean, I guess like I'd be more scared of a shark tornado than drug dealers.
Yeah, I'm not sure if I'm scared of drugs.
I'm like, I'd be more scared. Oh, and so speaking of X-Files, which you guys know, I just set it up because we're gonna talk about it, and there, Gillian Anderson actually posted a fun video. I hate that it wasn't on YouTube, so it was harder to play, but it is in the link that she posted on Twitter. But yeah, it's like an old school, very 90s, like Christmas promo for X-Files, which I loved.
Isn't that crazy? Like, looking back at those ads, it reminded me of, like, I used to see gargoyle ads in the morning.
Yes, I actually named all my cats after gargoyles.
Oh, did you?
When
Okay.
I was a little kid. I love that show.
It just brought me back to, like, all of those ads that I would see at the time.
All right, and I think it'll let us play the video here, because, this is, like, takes me back when I had a poster of him on my wall.
Telescope is my co-star, David Duchovny. Every Friday night on Fox, you can watch us uncovering the government's strangest of mysteries, including why a grown man in 1993 is searching the skies for a flying elf.
He's not just a flying elf.
Well, what is he?
Think about it. The polar base, the hyperlight travel, the crop circles.
What are you saying, that Santa Claus is an alien?
A benevolent extraterrestrial.
Oh.
If anybody sees him, it's your duty to report him to the local FBI. We'll take it from there. And don't forget, you get to keep the present.
Oh my God! Look at that logo. Oh my goodness!
This just reminds me so much of my Saturday morning cartoons.
It does,
it was
right?
almost like the Scruff McGruff music in the background. like
only you could prevent forest fires. All of those ads.
Oh yeah. All the goofy ones.
So did they ever address any Christmas conspiracy theories?
Yeah, that's the thing. Is that
like bit, I know they advertised it, but I don't remember.
Yeah, there were a few holiday themed episodes, but as usual with X-Files, it would always sort of turn out to be more of an explainable thing, just to prove Mulder wrong. I'm trying to think of anything specific more like the Santa bit. There is a Santa episode. I'm gonna go back and find it now.
Is he evil? Like what's? I can't see where this goes in the X-Files.
Yeah, and that's the thing is like almost all those shows have like somehow like an evil Santa, but I'm like I just remember Mulder being interested in like and saying insane things like that, which I loved.
I like it, and again, this show stays up to date with everything. They just I'm about to get political. They released some files today that back in 2010, I think 2010 or 2014, the government was investigating UFOs again under Senator Harry Reid. So, you know, they're still out there.
Yeah, I fully believe that they are still out there, although Roswell kind of sucks, guys. And not as cool as
Oh my
you
God,
think.
now we're going to hate on Roswell. Oh, are you talking about the show? Are we just
No.
hating on Roswell now?
Yes,
Like,
yeah, the city. Honestly, the show was okay for a while. But yeah, I was just like, it's much like Salem, where like you're a little kid and you think these things are cool, and you go in
and
your
then
20s
you go,
and you're
I
like,
know.
man.
Wait,
it's
so you
just
went to
tourist-
Roswell?
Yeah, I've been to Roswell and Salem.
Like the
I go-
cafe they have there? There's like one cafe, right?
Yeah.
Like,
Well, no, it's actually a little
or
bit
is it the
bigger.
whole city?
Yeah, it's a little bit bigger than the show makes it out to be, but not much. Like,
that's funny.
Yeah,
I'm
it
from
is funny.
Texas. I never stopped by.
I only stopped by on my way here from moving. Like, we went through Roswell so I could go take some pictures and.
So can you explore everything in a day?
Yeah,
okay. That is
there's not much to Roswell.
That is crazy. That's fun though. I like that.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a fun little stop by.
Well, now I'm interested. You know, I don't know when is X-Files coming back.
January 3rd, and actually the X-Files after show guys will be back January 4th at 9 p.m. live here. And they apparently wanted to make it the next day because after the finale incident, they wanted to prevent that from happening. That wasn't the reason, but yeah.
Okay,
it's more fun to make that. That is the joke.
That's a good reason.
Yeah.
Well, that means they probably won't do any Christmas episodes then, right?
Yeah, I don't see them doing a Christmas episode with just this 10-episode order. Yeah, because it'll be, and I hope this isn't it, but speaking of, like, Tad O'Malley was seen, or Joel McHale, who plays Tad O'Malley, who I love, so I'm glad that we're going to have his character back, because I love Joel, and that was just such a ridiculous character.
I'm sure they'll go. Yeah, you'll be
Yeah.
fine with that. But, you know, I do think not having... Again, it's only a 10-episode format. It's kind of how Twin Peaks came back.
Yeah.
I think it prevents from exploring more with a few things. We probably can't throw in a Santa episode in there.
No.
Everything's very constricted.
But at least we had 8 Monster of the Week and only 2 bookended.
That's true.
Yeah.
I've told you this. I don't like Monster of the Week. So.
Yeah, and I love them because, like, after a few years, Chris Carter didn't really understand the mythology anymore because it evolved. And
I think that's what happens. Eventually,
Yeah.
if you do stray away from that, the mythology might change. So I could see where there's... where there's conflict in that, but I don't know. I think everything's so serialized now, and again, that's another reason why I do like Twin Peaks. I'm glad they brought that back. You need serialized things. I like serialized episodes.
Well, I wouldn't consider the Twin Peaks return because I know you said you haven't watched it.
I haven't seen it.
It's not actually serialized.
Is it not serialized?
So yeah,
No,
well, into
no, you can't tell me that.
Yeah,
That's
I'm like,
terrible.
yeah, like it's not gonna be serialized, and thank God, like
no. Twin Peaks has always been serialized, though.
No, it
Oh my
is
God,
way more
that's-
Lynchian. Yeah, and that's the thing is the serialized version of television that we were so used to. Because as I say, I still watch Law & Order SVU, Criminal Minds, but I will say, like, that is sort of going away. That 22 episode, the long episode count of just, like, you know, fight the bad guy. That's not TV anymore,
No.
like, in a lot of ways. And we've just evolved beyond that.
And
Like,
they still try to do it with some of the superhero shows like Flash and Supergirl.
Yeah, as I'll say, the CW has to sort of stick with that.
Yeah.
But that's why I'll say a lot of the cable shows are so much better. And I'm actually rewatching Rescue Me after,
Oh my goodness.
listening to Dennis Leary's old book, and I'm just like, yeah, the stuff there on FX was sort of like the beginning of what we have now, and your Breaking Bads and your, you know,
Well,
Better
HBO
Call Saul.
was
Yeah.
it was The Sopranos.
And that's the
The
thing is
Wire.
you had those, but they were still very serialized in a way, and all those were around the same time. Like, you know, your Rescue Me's and your Justified.
You're right in that sense. Yeah, they weren't.
They all sort of came out and showing this different form of television where you could tell stories, like, and contain stories without just, you know, sort of the Monster of the Week episodes.
You're right. And even what was that FX show with the doctors?
Nip Tuck.
Nip Tuck.
Yeah.
That wasn't really serialized either.
Yeah, it was sometimes, like, because they would have the
They had the
patient of week,
storyline. Yeah,
but
yeah.
like
they had the Carver.
yeah, like that was the thing is they would have these overarching things that they were adding in with it, you know, and it sort of evolved from there into more FX being like original programming, as with AMC and.
I still can't believe you just told me Twin Peaks
Yeah.
is not serialized. Now I'm not gonna watch it. Like,
Oh man, dude, you've gotta watch it. But
that's insane to me. Because again, so you said you prefer having Monster of the Week, right?
On X-Files.
On
and that's what
X-Files.
I'll
Okay,
say.
okay.
As it is a case-by-case basis. For some shows, the serialized format works.
Yeah.
Other shows, as I say, I'd rather have 10 good episodes of, like, you know, just telling a whole story in 10 episodes.
And see, again, I never got big into the X-Files. To me, the whole... To me, I always saw X-Files as, you know, it's a show about exploring what's out there and aliens and conspiracy theories. But I felt like it relied more on their relationship, and it became just them and their interaction. It became kind of like Bones where like their interaction and then they have their daily...
And that's what I'll say is the more acceptable what I've seen of the serialized format nowadays is where they're focusing more on, like, you get a team, but you also... That's how House was. And as you say, Bones. Those were better shows.
That's
because you had both elements.
And I think, I think if you combine both elements, again, there's always room for that. But yeah, seeing that ad that's funny. That's
I
cool.
know. I'm like, it really takes you back.
It does take you back. That's crazy. That's back when The Simpsons were still good.
Yeah. I know. The Simpsons is one of those shows that when I catch it on, I still watch it, but I don't watch it regularly like I do Family Guy.
Like, I know. That was the era of, like, Seinfeld was still hitting its stride. Like, that's crazy.
Yeah.
All of these shows came around the same time, and it's cool seeing them back. I mean, The Simpsons is still strong. It's kind of crazy. All these Fox shows are still going.
I know. And, you know, speaking of that, we'll transition into talking about the Disney 21st Century Fox merger and what that means for their horror TV. What's interesting is all I could find, because the thing about, you know, Lucifer and Gotham specifically is they're in a precarious situation as they're actually owned by the WB. They're part of
this is weird.
DC.
Yeah.
And so actually Fox is going to be more in line to be invested more in these shows, is what they said. It will work out well because now that's going to be the only Fox, because Fox doesn't own that content. It didn't go with the Disney, you know, merger. So, like, and the Fox TV could not merge with Disney because of ABC, and that was actually against FCC regulations. So the interesting part is the Fox shows like those that aren't owned by Fox are actually going to be better with Fox Network in better standing, because now they will feel like investing more in these shows because they're not going anywhere, and now they technically, this is more their own content. Competing with Disney. Yeah, I know it's a very confusing situation of basically Disney doesn't own these shows, WB does, but Fox now feels more inclined to work with these shows because Disney doesn't own them.
So WB owns Lucifer, right?
And Gotham, yes.
I know Gotham, yeah. So Lucifer. So they had a licensing agreement with Fox.
Well, yeah, because Lucifer is part of DC Comics.
That's right.
You know, it's a Vertigo property, and then also it's shot at WB now, and so yeah, they have controlling interest in that.
This is insane.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I think that's a very optimistic way to look at it. I mean, you're probably right. I don't know how much...
as they said, Fox is going to be more invested in these shows because they have a lot more control of them as opposed to a lot of the other properties.
But then Fox still falls under Disney, though, right? Like, they would
still... no, not all of Fox. That's the thing, is like, the 21st Century Fox, that's why I made it clear that, like, Fox and Disney are not merging. Just the Disney bought 21st Century Fox, which is the film division, and some of the TV division.
That's
Fox
where it still throws me off, because it's still some of the TV.
Well, yeah, division. And that's what it says. Is like it's some of the Fox own content that is owned by 21st Century Fox. But as I would say, like another example would be Brooklyn Nine-Nine is actually shot at CBS, Radford, and then now it's not completely owned by Fox, as with Mindy Project. When that was on Fox, it was owned by NBC. That's why it moved to Hulu instead of like with New Girl. Like, and that's the thing is certain things, like when Scrubs moved to ABC.
Yes.
Like it's that same situation where they didn't own the content.
And that's where it still throws me off, because Hulu is Hulu's owned by all of these networks. They each have a stake in this, right? Like they each own like 20-30%.
Yeah, like Hulu is a little different. Like I think they have to like opt in. Hulu was initially owned, I think, at one point by NBC Universal, but it had to branch off as its own thing to be more.
Yes,
you know.
But I do know that they eventually all hopped into that train, and I'm pretty sure Fox has a big stake in Hulu. I think Fox
Yeah.
has like a 40% stake in Hulu.
Which makes sense with what content is on there more with
Everything
Fox,
Fox,
and,
yeah.
and NBC.
There's a lot of
And-
Bob's Burgers in there.
Yeah. And as with CBS has their own service, so anything it's like How I Met Your Mother was a property that was owned by Fox but aired on CBS. Like
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. So then Disney, again, we spoke about this last week. They're going to launch their own streaming service. I don't know where this goes. Like, I would imagine the way to go is to make Hulu the big brand. Because Hulu's already the main competition to Netflix and Amazon.
As I say, Hulu is by far the best streaming service. I think Hulu and Amazon Prime are actually far superior than Netflix.
Oh,
And
I am all Netflix.
Like,
You can't
I
go
like
there.
Netflix,
You cannot.
Netflix and their original content, but I feel like they've lost a lot of their footing lately with the older content. Because as I say, Fox took a lot of their stuff
They took it
off
back.
Netflix,
I know.
and this just before the merger, so it's kind of obvious that this has been in the works.
Yeah.
But yeah, so like Fox moved a lot because I've been watching Rescue Me. I'm like, all of that is on Hulu. Because speaking of ZSB Lou in the chat, who is also from Texas, from the Dallas Richardson area. Yeah, because I'm like, I'm from Tyler and you're from El Paso.
Yeah.
All we need is someone from the south part of Texas because we've got
The Valley.
East, West, and then now the North Central.
We're about to fly out to Dallas on Friday, so. Whoop,
Oh
whoop.
no. Yeah, maybe we'll party. There's yes. All right, and then you think that Lucifer and Gotham will move to like FX or FXX or DC streaming service, but Legion and Gifted will move to Hulu, Disney's new streaming lab, or ABC. Well, the problem with Legion and Gifted is so
These are FX. Shows.
Those are Fox the FX division. So yeah, those also aren't owned by Disney. So that's the funny part is the TV division of the X-Men is now still the only thing that Disney doesn't have.
That's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
That's funny. I still get thrown off in terms of where these shows are going to stream. Because if these shows are streaming on Hulu, and then, again, Disney has a stake in that based on their Fox acquisition, their 21st Century Fox.
Yeah.
I'm not sure where this goes. I don't know how much of a Disneyfication we're going to get on other content.
And that's what I worry about because too, like, and they've assured us that they're not messing with Deadpool, but remember Iron Man 2? Remember Iron Man 2? Seriously. Remember Iron Man 2? I'll
my
never
God.
forget. It's like
a lot of
never
people were
mind, don't say
disappointed. No, you're I thought it was a great movie, but I get the disappointment.
Yeah.
I get it. And I'm not going to spoil the new Star Wars movie, but again, you do see the Disneyfication of things.
Yeah, and that's the thing about Disney is very much a company.
It's a marketing machine.
Yeah, and Disney is all about selling toys.
Yeah.
And that's where I'll say it's like Deadpool, Logan. These are R-rated movies. These are not about selling toys unless you want to sell them in that special section. They now have a Toys R Us for adults. Because I'm pretty sure kids don't need a Mallrats action figure either, even though I had one.
You have a Mallrats figure? That's awesome.
Yeah.
But see, even I feel like I really like their effort when they did Pirates. I'm not sure how far Disney would be able to go with the Lucifer or any of these shows.
Well, yeah, and that's the thing is, luckily they have no stake in this whatsoever.
You say that now. I don't.
Well, yeah. Well, I mean, they don't have any rights to.
They
their
don't have
TV,
rights. I know.
Because that's a whole separate. I mean, they can't. And as I said, based on FCC regulations, they can't.
Those don't
own
matter in the current administration.
Yeah, I mean, they can't own that much content on the big networks. ABC,
That's
ABC and Fox couldn't merge as far as the TV is what they said. But yeah, and
they're one of the big four.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's funny. We spoke about the death of TV last week.
Yeah.
I don't even know how to define TV anymore.
Streaming killed the cable star.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
It's good.
And too, I will say, like, a lot of the streaming isn't quite perfect. I mean, I had to watch the freaking last 2 parts of Crisis on Earth X in a hotel room in Vegas on my laptop. And, like, I'm sorry, it's not the same as watching it on your TV.
It's
like,
not. Some experiences are better. Just like some experiences are better at the movies.
Yeah, exactly. So, like, there will always be a little bit, but it is sort of evolving. And that's why we have more options, though, at the same time. Yeah.
Actually, now maybe I don't even understand who owns what. The Simpsons, it's at Universal Studios. Are they?
Yeah, like Universal and Disney and all these also share stuff. Because like Harry Potter, for example, is owned by WB and Universal. So like in different aspects. Same thing with Curious George is owned by Universal and something else. I forget what else. There's a lot of properties. Same thing with The Simpsons. I'm like, I was like, they own it over here, but then they have rights because it's about like who owns the property and who has rights to it. Like WB owns Lucifer, but Fox Network has rights to it. The
distribution rights.
Yeah.
That's insane. And again, I hopefully you're guaranteeing that some of these shows won't have any influence. We'll see how far it goes. And like you said, based on FCC regulations, there's only so much they could do in terms of ownership. My worry is just influence in itself. I mean, they they still acquired a big portion of their offices. They're going to share offices. And
that's exactly why I know some people are a little bit upset about the possibility of some things happening. But I don't really, like, because as we said, the Disneyfication of stuff. But like with Marvel Netflix, I feel like this may be the end of it.
Oh my God.
Because as we say, like, I knew that they only had 3 more things and, you know, Luke Cage season 2, Jessica Jones, and now they've revealed that third option that they still had with Netflix will be Punisher season 2. And that's the last thing one? That was all they were contracted with Netflix. Anything else will be on the Disney streaming service, and that's when I think we'll start to see the
push.
Yeah, the Disneyfication of that. Yeah, that's now a new word.
Yeah, the Disneyfication. I like that. Well, I don't know. I don't like big mergers like this. I do think they affect, you know, someone like a character like Deadpool. I'm not a fan of Deadpool, but I get its appeal. I get he's supposed to be an R-rated superhero.
Yeah, exactly. It's supposed to be a certain way.
Yeah, once you add Disney, I'm not sure if you could do justice to that. And even something like Logan.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm just going to keep throwing out names until...
throwing out names of the good, you know, R-rated...
R-rated names.
Fox superhero movies that we now live.
The Tick.
Yeah, The Tick is on Amazon Prime, and it's great. I can't wait for the back 6 to show up, because, I was like, it's actually really good.
Yeah, it's not bad.
But, and Lucifer is great, but we actually have to wrap. So if you have thoughts on Lucifer, feel free to tweet me your thoughts on the big reveal with Tom Welling's character and how it really closely aligns with a Supernatural storyline. But it's only fair since Supernatural's making Lucifer a fun guy. So this is probably our last episode. We're going to try to squeeze one in next week if we can. But if not, if we don't see you, have a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. We will be back in the new year. I am Lacretia Lyon, guys. You can always find me at LACRETIALYON anywhere on the internet since there is only one. And we're going to keep up the conversation with you, Roger.
And Lacretia, always a pleasure. My name's Roger, Roger_Corral on Twitter.
All right, guys, be sure to give us that thumbs up, those 5 stars on iTunes, or however else you like to send us happy little thoughts. We like those.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Christmas time in hell.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.